live. Okay, welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporter's Company Spotlight. Today, I am speaking once again with next super stock presenter, Weyland Tech. Stock symbol is WEYL, over the counter. Brent Suen is the CEO. Brent, welcome back.
Hey, thanks, Jack. Glad to be back.
Always good to have you. You have some great news today. You have an acquisition announcement.
That's right.
I want to get into that in just a second. We're going to get into some of the details. You provide us some color, but for anybody that's new to the Weyland story, and again, since your debut was about 3 weeks ago at our next Superstock live stream, the stock went from about $4. You hit a high of $10.50 recently, back into the I think it's $8 right now. The stock is pretty wild. So this is a I don't know. We don't want to make this into a trading thing, but this is a crazy trading stock. So your stock is around $8 now. You got this news. So for anybody that's new to the story, what is you've been described as, I guess, the Shopify of Southeast Asia, but for mobile. So what exactly does Weyland do? Just in a snapshot.
Okay, in a snapshot, that description is certainly what we use, and it is accurate in terms of what we do. So what is that? It's e-commerce enablement. So a specific focus on micro to small businesses who need their own app. We have the platform that enables them to have their own app up and running within 2 hours or less.
Okay, and in the market you're in is Indonesia, Southeast Asia, like really some of the biggest opportunities right now.
It's considered currently the greatest emerging market from an institutional standpoint. Maybe not so much on Main Street yet. I believe that we're on the cusp of that changing to where more people become aware of Southeast Asia as a region opportunistically, and then certainly Indonesia with 250 million people and the fourth biggest population in the world. However, with about 90% smartphone penetration. So that's key.
Right. That's the key thing. And also, I think we mentioned it last time, and this is one of your partners actually is was it SEA, which is that's their focus is Southeast Asia, and that stock has been on fire. What is it?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I don't mind talking to you about the stocks though, because you come from a Wall Street background. You're originally from Bear Stearns, so so this is something. So we can relate to the stock stuff. Let's get into this new deal, this new acquisition, this deal that you have, this AI company. Can you give us some color on that?
Certainly. To put that in context, though, if you don't mind, I'd like to just sort of digress to a filing we made last Friday with the Securities and Exchange Commission to change the name of Weyland Tech to Logic Inc. Some of our shareholders who have been with us for a while will notice that that is actually the name of our subsidiary, which was formerly Push Interactive, that we acquired in January. The name is much greater than just purely a name change, Jack. So the whole idea or logic behind it is that underlying everything that we do right now and going forward is data. And the buzzword in the tech industry is big data. So what does that mean in very simple terms? Okay, so when you and I or anyone else goes to a website to look at something to buy, whether it's Amazon or Etsy or any type of vertical specific website, the data that accompanies us, whether we're on a mobile device or we're on our computer, everything from our age, our previous buying habits, the type of device we use, other sites that we visit, all of that data is captured, and what you can actually do with that data is tremendous, because that in turn, if used properly, enables the e-commerce site to better offer and target market the best products to that specific buyer. That's data capture, data analytics.
This whole business revolves around data. There's a big data stuff.
Correct. So, I think upon first blush, some people may say, "Oh, wow, you guys are going into AI. Why would you do that?" Well, we're already in data now with the acquisition of Push, now Logic, and the whole intention behind that was to take our other business units, Create App, ATOS Pay, ATOS Go, which all have small businesses at their core and end customers at their core, and enable us to enable them to provide the data that generates the best product and service offering to their customers, thereby generating more sales, better sales, and in turn, a stickiness to them being our customers. And of course, pricing that ramps up or scales up as they make more sales based on what we've provided them. So the overarching idea behind Logic, again, is data. So nowadays, data is measured. When people say real time, they're talking about milliseconds. So being able to capture the data, analyze it, give it back to them is no longer a human element. A little scary, kind of like some of the sci-fi films like Terminator. But the one component that we needed, and we could have either built ourselves or bought, was AI, specifically for this segment. Fixel, which we announced today, is comprised of data scientists from Israel, who are some of the world's leading data scientists in the AI space. So by acquiring Fixel, we have now captured that one component that we needed in order to bring everything together. We'll be talking about that a little more on our earnings call tomorrow, and then certainly in the coming weeks to give a better idea and visibility into how this fits into what we're doing and how it drives scale and enables customers.
Okay, so there's going to be a name change to Logic.
Correct.
LOGIQ.
Correct.
Okay, so the company is going to. I think that's a great idea. I mean, I think changing the name to Logic is probably worth a couple dollars in the stock. I mean, it's the brand. I think it really is going to make a difference because I'm not sure Weyland. I don't know. I don't know what it means.
Well, I borrowed it from Ridley Scott, who produced Aliens many years ago. The corporation within the film series is the Weyland.
Okay.
So I don't know how much longer that'll actually be on loan, but nonetheless, what it also enables us to do, Jack, by renaming and rebranding the company as Logic, the underlying branding and description of the platforms that comprise Logic will also be rebranded, and it's so much of an easier story.
It's great. The name, it's a great name. I think we're going to see some positive, really good things happen in the stock. Just purely from that branding standpoint. It's the perception. The name is great. LOGIQ, Logic. It's fantastic. Okay, so Fixel AI, today's acquisition announcement. So exactly what do they do? What's the synergy? How are you going to monetize this?
Okay, some of it I am unable to describe now. It will be described in short order by our Chief Technology Officer, Tom Furukawa, and also Haig Newton, the head of Logic Inc., formerly Push. In fact, they'll be describing it tomorrow. Fixel is headquartered in Tel Aviv. However, their principals spend time between there and Atlanta, Georgia. In fact, two of their marquee clients are probably fairly well-known names, Auto Trader and Kelley Blue Book.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So what they do there is essentially what we hope to leverage into other larger websites with millions of consumers coming in and out of the website, trying to make decisions on pricing, anything surrounding buying or making the end decision. So what they provide to them, we will also be able to provide to other websites, either on an enterprise level or a small to medium-sized business level. So it's extremely interesting for us and a perfect fit. Took a lot of time to find them, a lot of work on the onset, and we're extremely excited, as are they. We'll also be introducing them over the coming weeks. And I think that once the story into how it fits in with not only logic, but also what it can do for our customers is going to be very well received, certainly on Wall Street amongst professional investors that invest in companies like the Trade Desk, Axiom, Rubicon Project, and others. I think is going to be quite exciting.
Okay. Yeah. No. I mean, this is the big data AI. That's really the this is the key thing where everything is moving. And so you're going to be able to offer this across. You're going to be able to offer this technology across your e-commerce platforms.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. And can you talk about terms of the deal? Revenues. Give us some details on that. Are you able to do that right now?
We did not include that in the press release nor the 8K. What I can say is that it does represent less than 5% of our market cap. So it is not a highly dilutive or even medium dilutive event. We believe it will be accretive over the coming year. So we did not spend actual cash, so it was a stock deal. Okay.
Okay. We got some questions coming in. We're going to turn to the audience questions in just a second.
Sure.
What other M&A deals do you have in the pipeline? Do you have anything else in the pipeline? Are you looking at other deals? I mean,
Well, as what I can say is that historically we have spoken about outbound opportunities. We have been in discussions with potential investors on the strategic side, looking at us or business units. And with that, it has been our strategic roadmap to also evaluate what are classified in the industry as tuck-in acquisitions. Anything that is enabling from the IP side, the customer side, pretty much anything that propels growth at a reasonable price. Okay.
Let's go to some questions here. This is a big one. When are you uplisting to Nasdaq?
That's a great question. We've had an active application in. We do currently meet all the quantitative requirements, as we've mentioned in the past. At Nasdaq, they've got currently 4 examiners. They had 5. Those 4 examiners are responsible for IPOs, of which the IPO calendar, for most of you, you'll realize has been quite active lately. Secondly, continued listings, and then third, up listings, of which there are anywhere from 200 to 300 applications per year, of which about 20 to 30 actually make it out. So I believe it's a combination of them being a little bit understaffed, and then also just being in the queue and just pretty much playing the waiting game.
Okay.
Yes.
So it could be any time. Like, what's the
I don't know. I have peers and certainly some friends at other OTC companies that have been in the queue for some time. Some as long as 13 months, which is sounds extraordinarily long, but
right.
Anyway, that's pretty much where it is. So we're enthusiastic about it. We have not ruled out other exchanges, and there have been there's actually been inbound indications of interest from other exchanges as well.
Okay. Okay. He's asking, how does the Q2 revenue look?
Oh, well, that comes out tomorrow morning. We have a conference call at 10:30 Eastern time. The dial-in information is on our news. So I would encourage everyone to tune into that. In addition to discussing Q2. We'll talk about Q3 and 4, talk a little bit about the overall outlook, talk about how COVID has affected certain businesses and positively impacted others, and how we are dealing with that, and certainly working around it. And I think it'll be quite detailed as far as what comes out of the call.
Okay. Let's see. Do we have anybody? No. So looks like nothing else yet. So maybe we'll kind of wrap it up with a quick, our usual favorite question. What are the top 3 reasons why investors should consider Weyland Tech, soon to be renamed Logic?
Okay. I think overarching, and everyone will be familiar with this. What we're in now. Just look behind me. I am literally in my home office. I believe a lot of people have embraced working from home, if not being at home more often. In turn, home-based businesses are on the rise. The launch of new websites, the launch of new apps, what people call the new normal has translated into the stock market in terms of valuations that are, you can say they're high. You can say, well, historically, we've never seen anything like this. I mean, Shopify, which we try to categorize ourselves as, they're trading at 63 times revenues. A year ago, you asked most institutional investors or analysts, what do you think a high multiple is? Most would have said, well, where they are, 20x revenues, and now they're at 63. They've been as high as 80. Is that high? Tough to say, but they're not the only one. Anything that fits within what is now the new normal, that is a beneficiary of people doing more online, doing more on their phones, and adapting to life in a different way, has become a beneficiary of these underlying themes. And therefore, their valuations have stepped up significantly. So look at what we do. You don't have to take my word for it, but look at the parts of our business. Everything we do at its core fits into the thematic of what is now the new normal. Online shopping, food delivery to the home or to home office or to the office if you're there. E-commerce enablement, native applications that provide a presence to offline stores who want to get online through their phone. The whole data analytics evolution through the acquisition of Push, now Logic, and then becoming Logic proper, and then today's acquisition announcement on Fixel. All of that fits into the whole paradigm, excuse the buzzword, of, again, the new normal. And so does that carry with it similar valuations to what we're seeing across the board? I believe so. That's one. 2, look at the management team, look at the depth and breadth of experience, look at customer representation. And then I think, thirdly, look at us in terms of absolute valuation and where we could be. So I think those are probably the 3 that I would list. Okay.
So now you mentioned the multiples. So in terms of an comp, you're doing roughly what, 41 million revenues right now?
Our trailing 12 months revenues to up to Q1 put us at 41 million trailing 12-month revenues. We've come out publicly and said that we're looking at about 48 to 50 million for the year. We should be able to provide visibility on that tomorrow. Okay. But we're highly confident.
Okay, so if you're doing 50 million, right? If you're doing 50 million and you're valued like some of the peers, well, let's just say 10x seems to be like, kind of a going rate almost. I mean, that's kind of, it used to be considered high. Now it's not 100.
Yeah.
Now it's 100. But let's say even at 10x at 500 million valuation. Now you have how many shares out do you have right now?
12.3 million.
Okay, so 12 of the stock is, what is it, $8? So it's 100 million is basically the market cap. So in theory, if you're valued, sort of at the low end of the peers, it would be 5x from here. I mean, the stock should be $40 basically.
If If we do the math, yes, indeed.
Yeah, and I think what is SCA Shopify? I mean, SCA is trading at what kind of multiple right now?
SEA is trading at about, I believe it's about 28 times revenues.
Okay, and they're in the same kind of. I mean, the overlap, the thematic.
They are, yes. They are probably our closest peer in terms of regional focus. Another one which was brought to my attention, Stone Group, Stne. They're similar to us in terms of what they provide. It's e-commerce enablement, fintech or financial technology for getting people online. However, they have a regional focus. They have a country focus on Brazil, but they've got a market cap of nearly $14 billion, and they're trading at almost 30 times revenues. So
it's the same idea. It's a developing market.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Indonesia is bigger, actually. I think, right?
It is. Yes.
Big, and also the whole like region. So that I mean, as an investor, I think that's kind of like the takeaways, that you have this valuation gap. That's kind of a big opportunity, and then obviously you have the growing business. You have the big data. You have the AI now, the mobile stuff. Okay, so anybody that's watching, obviously, please join the Weyland the earnings call tomorrow. It's on the website, right? You have the dial-in info. Okay,
correct.
That, and we're gonna have the name. The name change is gonna happen when again? And when are you gonna change the name to Logic?
We filed with the SEC last Friday. FINRA should be providing us with a new stock symbol probably next week.
Okay.
So we gave them 3 choices. It remains to be seen which one we get, but we'll let everyone know, and we will talk more about the whys and the vision, and certainly the strategic roadmap.
Okay, excellent. We have any? Okay, I think that's it for the audience questions. Or light the day on questions today. I think everybody's exhausted already. It's mid-summer here. So Brent, thank you again for your time. We're gonna have you back probably in about 10 days, a week. As soon as you have the news announcements. We're looking forward to the news, the name change, everything else. And everybody, thank you for joining us on the next Superstock live stream, the CEO chat, and we'll see you all on the next event.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Brent.